Good morning, dear friends, fellow alumnus, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome everyone to our AABN's 185th weekly webinar series. Despite unprecedented period in recent times, we managed to stay in touch with each other and create positive pathways for all of us in this group. For that, a big thanks for your faith and support. As we try hard to put behind us the memories, it's time for renewal and regeneration. Let me run you quickly through the ideas on which AABN was built before spelling out our future course and moving on to welcome one and all and introduce you to our distinguished speaker for the day. AABN began as a fledgling outfit to connect professionals on a proactive platform to exchange useful information and contacts, also became an informal avenue to meet and listen to game changers in the fields of engineering, agriculture, marketing, entrepreneurship, and business management, etc., through interactive sessions. Thanks to the strong work fundamentals, clear goals, and wonderful camaraderie on which this network was built, we grew in leaps and bounds. The office bearers of AABN unanimously felt that the time had come to go beyond webinars and expand AABN's wings to cover a larger group drawn from multidisciplines and create visibility for our entrepreneurs. Public-private partnerships have become an increasingly popular way to get major infrastructure projects built. Compared to the traditional procurement solutions, these arrangements show a significantly increased level of private sector participation with the goal of boosting the efficiency and effectiveness of the project through its entire life cycle from development to the end of the operating phase. Public-private partnership can also spread a project cost over a more extended period and can thus free up public funds for investment in sectors in which private investment is impossible or otherwise inappropriate. In today's session, we will go through an overview of public-private partnership and our speaker will explain with the help of a case study. Our distinguished speaker will also discuss the pitfalls that public-private partnership face along with the necessary ingredients for success as an effective public-private partnership can benefit the government, the private sector, the citizens, as well as the residents. I have the pleasant duty of welcoming and introducing a guest speaker for today, Mr. B. Prabhudoss, independent consultant to this interactive business networking session. We will dwell in detail on public-private partnerships significance. Prabhudoss has over 29 years of experience in emergency management, disaster management, operations, healthcare, process and compliance, banking, FMCG, sales, consulting, and has been a recipient of Meritorious Award in 2014 from the Honorable Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu for rescue and relief operations during a structural collapse in Chennai. Has served in different capacities: Chief Executive Officer, Chief Operating Officer, Regional Manager, Operations, Head of Marketing and Communication, Hospital Relations, Public-Private Partnership, Media Spokesperson, Regional Manager, Compliance, Process and Channel, etc., Project Consultant, Advisory Committee Member. Has been an integral part and played pivotal role in the team that conceptualized and strategically executed innovative first of its kind projects in the country. Exclusive neonatal ambulances for newborn babies, 24/7 emergency care centers, 104 health helpline, launched student counseling, eye donation, organ donation, suicide prevention, etc. First responder bikes, 14417 education information helpline, 1962 animal ambulance, first responder training for fishermen, fleet expansion of 108 ambulances and new launches, four-wheel drive ambulance for hilly and non-motorable terrain, deployment for mass gathering events and establishing effective communication network. Has been part of several large-scale integrated mock drills connecting several agencies, departments. Has been part of rescue operations during several real-life disasters, Chiteri train accident, Thane, Neelam, Varda and Gaja cyclones, Chennai floods, Maudi-Wakam, structural collapse, and many more. Presently on telemedicine, developing ERP for EMS, advisory committee member, Chemical Counselors Foundation, and Association of Psychologists, working on geriatric care, palliative care at doorstep, India's growing need. He wished to step up simulation-based training center for emergency and disaster management, psychological first aid, etc. Make ambulance operation and nursing care as an aggregator model, making it available, accessible, affordable, with affectionate care. I wish you all interesting and productive webinar and look forward to a collaboration in the weeks and months to come. Once again, a very warm welcome to you, Mr. Prabhudoss. We are truly privileged to have you deliver the speech today at AABN. Thank you, and over to you.
Thank you so much, sir. It was very detailed welcome address. And on my personal front, let me thank Suresh Mariaselvam sir for giving this opportunity, for introducing me to Mr. Gopi sir. So it's a great privilege and pleasure to be part of this forum to share whatever the little experience over period of time. So let this experience inspire the member or whoever the participant here, and that may lead to saving a precious life. So that's the objective of this presentation. So if we can save someone's life, or if we can better someone's life, I think the birth as human is served. That's what Mr. Bharat Ratna, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam always says. So with that opening note, thank you once again for giving me the opportunity, sir. Am I audible, sir?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, shall we proceed with the presentation?
Please proceed, sir.
Okay. So, let me share the screen, sir. Wherever there is clarity lacking, maybe due to technical snag also, please interrupt so that we can have a very detailed or very clear presentation. So, with the given time, I'm only going to touch upon very brief topic. Maybe at a given later time, we can go into details. Sir, is the screen visible to all?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. So today we are going to touch upon public-private partnership. 1, 2, 108 emergency medical service as a case study, reaching the unreached and redefining the emergency care, doing more with less, first responder model, and emergency and disaster preparedness. In fact, Suresh Mariaselvam sir wanted to touch upon that because we are going closer to Chennai floods, maybe in the December once again. So with that preface, I would like to touch upon that also. Yeah. Okay. How did this innovation of 108 came in before we move into a PPP? 75,000 emergencies occur every day in India, and of which 80% of the people are bottom of the pyramid. When I say bottom of the pyramid, you know better. Economically, people are underprivileged, and 80% of the deaths occur in hospitals in the first hour of admission. First 1 hour is very critical, where a lot of tests are delayed, or diagnosis itself delayed due to lack of resources, or time is lost in transit. So 80% is a big number at hospital, and 4 million deaths per annum happen owing to cardiac arrest, road accident, maternal, suicide attempts, everything. So what was required is access to a universal toll-free number. Yes, ambulance did exist even before 108 came in, because from time immemorial, we had been seeing ambulances, but mostly these ambulances were carrying dead bodies as well as live patients, and they were only a transport vehicle like any other vehicle. So what number to call was a big confusion. So we needed a toll-free number. Number 2, availability of life-saving ambulances at my proximity, at my neighborhood. So swift response was a big question mark. Then affectionate care by trained paramedic. We always saw some helper in the ambulance, Was he trained a paramedic? Did he undergo any training on emergency medicine? Was a big question. Affordability. Take it from me. The previous experience says during emergency, wallets will be missing. However affluent the person is, however rich individual is, during an emergency, the wallets will be missing and our mind will be completely blank. Therefore, affordability is a big question for ambulances. Even today, the private ambulances actually charge a fortune. So income, religion, and community are no bar for the affordability. Hence, an integrated public emergency medical service was born in 2005 through public-private partnership. Initially, the model was brought in by Satyam Computers, Mr. Ramalinga Raju. 20 ambulances were launched in Andhra, Hyderabad, for their own village initially, where Mr. Venkat Chengavalli was the founder, chief executive officer, my boss actually. So after Satyam's issue, GVK Emergency Management and Research Institute, GVK EMRI, was brought in by the government. And today the name is rechristened as EMRI Green Health Services. So today the Tamil Nadu service provider for 108 ambulances, EMRI Green Health Services. And after Satyam's 20 ambulance success, government of Andhra Pradesh gave all their ambulances to operate. So that is how public-private partnership was born. The initial model was 95% funding by the government of Andhra Pradesh and 5% by the private operator. And over a period, after the Satyam issues and GVK taking over, all those changes, today with the government of Tamil Nadu model, 100% funding is from the government of Tamil Nadu. All the infrastructure, resources, everything is from the government of Tamil Nadu. The private partner brings leadership, technology, training, international collaborations. All these things are brought by the private partner. Okay, with the public-private partnership, especially in the healthcare sector, my boss always used to say, it should be like water, where hydrogen and oxygen, both of them have different properties. Okay, they come together, forgetting their differences and to form a new product called water. Therefore, the private or the government should forget their differences. They should leverage on their strength and come together to provide the best service. And today, in the public-private partnership model, there are two states, prominent states successfully operating. One is Tamil Nadu, the other is government of Gujarat. Only two states are successfully having public-private partnership in 108 ambulance service. All other states have moved into a tender model. And in the opening remarks, sir was saying, during the course of the presentation, we shall also talk about what are the pitfalls of a PPP or how we improve the PPP so that the government and the people benefit. So let me also touch upon, in a public-private partnership, there is no need or there is no goal for making money. So profits are not there at all in the subject of discussion. The only aim is to serve the people because the funding is completely from the government. Therefore, a strong organization, when I say strong, the organization with a good governance and from the government side with a good monitoring team and the proper funding can make a very successful public-private partnership. But many places, public-private partnership has also failed because the government did not have a good monitoring team or the private player was not a very strong player with a good governance. They were very local players or they were fly-by-night operators or their intentions were different. Therefore, wherever the PPP has failed, government has opted for a tender model. But in a tender model, it is completely commercial and economics comes first. Therefore, service takes a back seat. and nobody talks about service. The SLAs are only very numbers. So number management will be the first priority, whereas service to the common man will take a backseat. Therefore, in a healthcare with a good governance and good monitoring team and consistent funding, it can make it very successful. So let's move on to the case of 108 in Tamil Nadu. Okay, the idea of the 108 was, one moment. 30 million emergencies and save 1 million lives annually. That was the model. And leadership, innovation, technology, research, and training. So, leadership, when 108 ambulance was started, all the leaders were from highly qualified and professional background. All my bosses were from IIMA with engineering and with a lot of experience, rich experience from large conglomerates, transnational companies, and they all came together to serve this uh, great service. So that is how 108 was started. And innovation, um, India's indigenous ambulance, we should say. We can be proud our ambulances are the best in class when compared to any other global community. We can benchmark our ambulances with Australia, US, or Singapore with the given road conditions, with the given geographical conditions, people, communication challenges. Still, we are the best. And the technology, it made a big difference. I don't know how many of you would have tried 108, but then 108 calls are answered in the zero ring or first ring. That was the first difference, because the other end, somebody with distress, somebody in distress wants his voice to be heard first. Somebody should pick up the phone and say hello. So that made a magic. And after this presentation, I would request each of the participant to try 108, call 108 and see how you experience it. Believe me, 98 to 99% calls are taken in zero ring or first ring. Probably in the 2004 or 5 period, the call centers, the BPOs were just evolving. And with the Satyam's technology, the CRMs, the customer relationship management softwares, call center integration, telephonic call center, telephone integration, all this was new experience to a common man, especially for a rural community. So this is how the technology made a difference. And research and training with the data generated, the benchmarks were always kept high, or raising the bar was a consistent effort. And today 108 in Tamil Nadu is standing tall because there is a continuous training and research happening. So with these, like ambulance has 4 wheels, these are the 4 fundamental wheels that drives 108 PPP model in Tamil Nadu. So what is the difference the process made? So somebody calls 108 through a mobile phone or a landline phone, whatever it is. The call lands in Chennai for entire Tamil Nadu, and 3,000 emergencies are served every day, with more than 10,000 calls landing every day. So for one emergency, there may be hundreds of people calling. So every call has to be answered, and there is always a monitoring team for even the unanswered calls. That makes the 108 unique, because normally people don't look at unanswered call, but then here the major monitoring metrics is unanswered calls. So the call is answered with within zero ring or first ring. So the team that takes a call is called sense, because they sense an emergency. So they are called sense team, and the information is disseminated to the ambulance crew. In Assam in now it's going to be in Maharashtra also. Boat ambulances are also available. And the ambulance crew comes. Every ambulance has two persons. One is the driver. We call it a pilot because driving an ambulance is as good as driving an aircraft. Safety is of paramount importance, not only self, but also the safety of the fellow passengers, fellow victims, as well as the attenders. And other road users have to be taken care. So we call him a pilot. Globally, that is the name. And the next person inside the ambulance is emergency medical technician. He's not a paramedic. He's a trained technician to address any emergencies within limited resource. When I say limited resource, ambulance has limitation of space, movement, and it is always on the move. And treating a patient while on the move is a big challenge. And with a single person treating multiple, I would say multiple requirement. Have to give oxygen, have to control bleeding, have to do splinting, and have to, in case the person needs what I can say, any other requirement, okay, intramuscular injections or any other medication required, all these have to be taken care by an individual before reaching an hospital. So what difference does this make? Whatever that happens in the first 1 hour of reaching an hospital happens in transit itself. Therefore, the possibility of saving a life increases. Therefore, the chances of disability decreases. Therefore, the morbidity and mortality are reduced. That is the biggest difference an ambulance, especially 108 ambulance, created in our country. So after admission into the hospital, the follow-up is done, especially for critical cases, whether the patient has survived with our timely quality intervention. That is a important metrics for classifying as or categorizing as life saved. How many lives did we save due to our quality and timely intervention? So this is the process of 108: sense, reach, and care. Okay, so there is a detailed process, well-defined responsibility. Therefore, it is not person dependent. It is completely process dependent. And there is a patient care record. Initially, it was manually written. Now, a lot of digitization is happening. So 108 Tamil Nadu is in a transformational phase. That's the right word I should use. And the person who calls 108 is kept anonymous. The identity is not revealed because earlier people were fearing to call ambulance because police harassment, legal issues were always there. After 108 coming into play, all these have been eliminated, and there is a 48-hour follow even after admission into the hospital. So this is how the process looks. There is an integrated emergency response center, the call center in Chennai. It is in Tenampat, DMS campus. At the ambulances, we have both basic life support ambulance, advanced life support ambulance, neonatal ambulances, first responder bikes, and now, of course, boat ambulances are also there. And future is going to be for drones and helicopter services, air ambulances. So the difference between helicopter and the air ambulance, mostly people get confused. Air ambulance from airport to airport, whereas from a site of accident or incident, helicopter or airlifting is done in many countries. India, it is yet to gain access, and drones are in pipeline. So this is going to be the future. So what are the other services in 108? There is a dedicated neonatal ambulance, the newborn care, why newborn care? For a country, the health index says infant mortality rate and the maternal mortality rate are very important criteria. Our country still has challenge in terms of both. Kerala is number one in terms of lower infant mortality rate and as well as the maternal mortality rate. Other states are following. And Tamil Nadu, neonatal ambulances cater exclusively for the newborns. Around 64 ambulances are there in Tamil Nadu, first of its kind. And babies, when they are born, in the mother's womb, they would have 36-degree temperature. But when they come out and come out, their temperature slowly gets reduced and get into a mode called hypothermia. Therefore, while in transfer, the temperature maintenance, temperature management is very, very important. Therefore, every neonatal ambulance as an incubator, exclusively trained or specialty trained paramedic or a nurse is available. Babies with low birth weight, birth asphyxia, congenital anomaly, all these things are taken care. And when a baby is served, the entire family is served because a lot of emotional quotient is also there. And next comes 102. After delivery at a government hospital, the mother and child are safely dropped back at their home. This increases institutional delivery. So that service is also available in Tamil Nadu. And next comes emergency care center, 24/7 emergency care center on national highways, where the time taken to reach an hospital is higher than 1 hour. So Tamil Nadu presently has 12 emergency care centers. To name a few, Tambaram, Mahabalipuram, Injambakam, then Padiyanallur near Redels, then Bepur near Kadalur. So, and Sri Parambadur, all these places already there is a 24/7 emergency care centers. The objective is to stabilize the patient and transfer. And then comes 104 health helpline, again 24/7 call center to guide people on three things. One is information, and then education, then advice. So advice both psychological as well as physiological, and information, any nearest blood bank, nearest government hospital, all these informations can be sought 24/7. And psychological help for those in distress, those depressed. More than 10,000 suicides have been prevented through this tele-counseling. So it's a very successful model. All these things are through PPP model in Tamil Nadu. And one more to be added is free here service, free mortuary service. More than 10,000 bodies are handled every month in Tamil Nadu, free of cost, from government hospital to the home or graveyard. The bodies are transferred, and somebody from northeast or northern state dying in government hospital in Tamil Nadu, the body is embalmed, put it in a coffin, loaded in a train, and the attender also gets a free ticket. And all these services are completely free. Probably no other states have all this facility. And now animal ambulance was also. Hello. Yes, sir. Yeah, I think it was some other call. So all these services are under public-private partnership. So ambulances, again, as I told you, there are basic life support, advanced life support ambulances, and neonatal. And adding to that is four-wheel drive for hilly terrain or less motorable terrains. So these are the different category of ambulances. And one ambulance is there in Marina also, especially for drowning and other emergencies. And first responder bikes. These bikes are available in major cities for catering emergencies in lanes and by-lanes, especially traffic clogged areas. There are three different types of bikes. Even women can drive a bike and serve emergency. So that was the objective. Yeah. So these are the different um, uh, ambulances we have seen. And now what's the impact? More than 26% of beneficiary are antenatal mothers, or I would say pregnant mothers in Tamil Nadu, and around 24% are road traffic accident. So if you look at the first 50%, pregnant mothers, the antenatal mothers, and road traffic accidents constitute 50%, and rest of the 50% would be the cardiac and all other emergencies put together. And the emergencies do increase on a Deepavali day and New Year day. Definitely not owing to crackers or fire. Mostly accidents owing to alcohol. So not to mention anything about that. So we will know the accidents are major culprit in Tamil Nadu. And a few years back, 16,000 people died of accidents in Tamil Nadu, and 16,000 people died of suicides in Tamil Nadu. So Tamil Nadu was ranking top of the chart in both road accidents as well as suicides. And one good reason is the roads are good and vehicles are good. So high velocity accidents are inevitable. So road discipline, education, all these things are different subjects, but that's the statistics. And as far as the suicides, we are too sensitive because for us, the social respect or self-respect, all these are taught even from our childhood. Therefore, highly sensitive community. Tamil Nadu is also ranking top of the chart. And now the latest numbers, you can look at where we stand. So this is the inside photograph of emergency care centers in Tamil Nadu. Presently, 12 centers are there. The scope is for 100 centers across the state. So 104 Health Helpline Center in Tamil Nadu. So you get health information, health advice, and complaints about the government services. So that's about 104 Health Helpline Center. And as Suresh sir, Mariaselvam sir had suggested, and Gopi sir also said, we should talk about disaster management and mitigation. Whatever little knowledge, little learning, I'm just sharing with you. So this is not a final document. Therefore, you can take this as a small reference document. So, disaster, it disrupts our functioning and impacts life and property. It comes unannounced mostly, but then now early warning signs are there. We know about floods, when it is going to happen. We have a weatherman in Tamil Nadu, and but earthquake and other disasters come unannounced. So it is always good to be prepared. And there are disasters both natural as well as man-made. And Suresh sir is expert in all these things. But then, as a student of him, I would love to touch upon few points. So natural disasters, we have cyclone, floods, earthquake, drought, landslide, tsunami, and we saw landslide in Wayanad in Kerala also. Man-made disasters, nuclear, biological, chemical, and major vehicular accidents. I would say multi-casualty incidents, fire, structural collapse also happen. So technology has today made the forecast and early warning signs more accurate and more accessible with our WhatsApp and other social media available. And more research and advancement are happening every day. And early warning signs, accurate forecast, though cannot stop a disaster, it can certainly help in mitigating loss of life. Because for us, life is very important. Property can always be reconstructed or can be bought, but life cannot be. And beyond emergency medicine, disaster medicine is also fast catching up globally. India, yes, disaster medicine is slowly catching up because even emergency medicine is very, very slow. So disaster medicine is following that. And today we will touch upon care for elderly, while disaster management is a very, very big and vast subject. So we are going to touch only about care for the elderly today. So India has about 104 million older adults, and Tamil Nadu is going to see a surge in elder citizens or older adults, because the World Health Organization says no more senior citizen, it is older adults. So India is going to face a big challenge. Therefore, uh, developing a community compatible for older adults or elder citizens is going to be a need of the country. Okay, so older adults are vulnerable to disaster due to physical, psychological, and social requirements. The association between higher age and negative mental health outcomes, along with locomotors, visual disability, all these are compounding the problem. So, how do we prepare? Um, Identifying and planning are the fundamentals. So, gathering warning information, uh, identifying the vulnerable population, and to give you us information, Tamil Nadu's in Chennai city, Tamil Nadu police or the Chennai city police have exclusively formed a team for elder people. So people can access Tamil Nadu city police, Chennai city police, law, then health, everything is integrated, and you get a help immediately for an elder citizen. Fortunately, I'm also part of that group. So vulnerable zones to be identified, vulnerable zones to have a data on elderly, especially identify those elderly staying. Give you a good example. Wayanad, while it had a landslide with hundreds of lives lost, property completely devastated, there was another incident near Calicut, Kozhikode, where the village, due to their early warning sign, evacuated the people and there was a zero life lost. So good governance, good communication, good planning, preparedness can save life. So we had experienced it few months back in our neighboring state. So earmark those bedridden and under palliative care. So they need the first help to be evacuated. Map them to the nearest designated evacuation centers. Prepare a comprehensive hamlet-wise, area-wise map with information depicting elderly settlements. Map to contain multiple access, because if one access is damaged or devastated, then how do we access? Normally in emergencies, this do happen. And after every disaster, there will be secondary events also. So we have to be very careful. Enumerate and updation to be done in a very, very frequent manner, and display the map at a public place so that even NGOs, those come for help, have an access to the map. So normally, like first aid kit, we would have seen in our school, no? PT teacher would have the first aid kit kept in a drawer, complete locked and gone. Fire extinguisher keys would be placed somewhere else. So that is not the way an emergency or a disaster management works. It should be visible, accessible to everyone. Okay. So data, what are the data? Name, photograph, sex, age, present address, blood group, pre-existing illness, disability, identification marks, data to be linked with Aadhaar. When I say disability, it can be on the mobility, it can be vision, it can be on the hearing. So these are a common challenge with aging. All of us have to undergo this. So therefore, a data comprehensive with micro details will help. So what are the list of material or the kit, preparedness kit should have? One is Aadhaar card. Today without Aadhaar, nothing works. So if the individual is with the medication, personal medicine kit, because The same combination drug may not be available during a disaster. Therefore, it is always good to carry the personal medical kit at least for 10 days. Medical report, prescriptions, hearing aid, spectacle, mobility equipments. Some are emotionally attached, spiritual books, rosaries, food habits, restrictions, identity card with emergency contact numbers, non-perishable foods, warm clothes, diapers, chapels, because it takes time for the rescue and relief team to reach us. So we should have all these things on standby. Leveraging technology, elderly can be provided with panic button. We also created a panic button. So community training, volunteers have to be trained. Every hamlet should have a trained volunteers on evacuating, providing first aid, and mock drills to be conducted to check the efficiency and gap, if any. And one mock drill um, every quarter is ideal. Okay, and integrating with senior citizen groups and forums, consistent communication through multiple channels to be carried out. We always see after a disaster happens, uh, TV announcing the new numbers. Please remember, power cut would be there. There will be lack of network. Then how do you think these numbers will reach the affected people? It seldom works. Therefore, the number or the communication channel should be available always, not after a disaster happens. Volunteers to be trained to use thermal screening so that somebody submerged in water, somebody inside a debris or a collapsed structure can be identified and saved early. So mock drill seldom happens in our country. We have had two large mock drills and identified a lot of gaps. We are all good individually, very strong in our own domains, but when it comes to a group, a lack of synergy, lack of synchronization is a very big challenge, especially communication, ego, and who will do what, and role clarity. All these things are very big challenge. Therefore, continuously having the mock drill is a very prerequisite in a preparedness. So this is how a disaster site looks like. Okay, the center one is the disaster area, bronze area, then comes safe area. The first ambulance arrives. There is a policy called first in, last out. The first ambulance that comes will be the last to leave because that ambulance has to guide all other ambulances. And after all the rescue teams leaves only, the first ambulance have to leave. Okay, after the first ambulance arrives, okay, and there is a loading area away from the disaster site because there is a secondary event likely to happen after a first disaster. So everybody gathers at the ambulance loading area, and now triaging, nothing but prioritizing. The person who is very sick has to be classified as red, moderately sick has to be classified as yellow, and the person who is with walking wounds or laceration or simple injury can be classified as green, and no injury can be classified as white. And why should we classify somebody with no injury? Yes, externally there may be no injury, but internally, psychologically, he may be affected. Therefore, he or she also needs a care. And those dead have to be classified as black because less priority. The dead can be isolated and can be served at a later point. All other ambulances arrive, and now this is the loading area, and each ambulance have to go one by one. There is no need for a chaos or a multi-access. Therefore, that can lead to confusion, and there will be incident command who will guide all the rescue team. Okay, this is the bird's eye view. Okay, during disaster, the victims should be at a shock and feeling of helplessness and powerlessness. alert the rescue team, activate EMS. Very simple, call 108, 3-digit number. Stick to the plan and follow the incident command. Multiple commands should not be there. Strictly follow the incident command. It can be a district collector, it can be a superintendent of police, or even an inspector of police. Whoever takes charge of that site is the incident command. And triage is affected, and the red person should be taken to the nearest hospital. Yellow should be to the next nearest. Green and white can be to the farthest hospital. Therefore, the resource can be optimized and we can do more with the less. Reach to the designation evacuation center, handled till the professional team arrives. Post-disaster, people are confused, shocked, and proven anxious and depressed, so they need a psychological support. And we have experienced this in all the previous disasters. Mental health is a very, very important one. Reconstruction, rehabilitation, and of course, Suresh sir has done a lot of work in tsunami and in many other disasters. To sum up, integration with all stakeholders, community data, training and education, mock drill, aging-friendly community, medical insurance for all older adults by default, safety and access audit are very, very important, which is lacking. I think if we can initiate, that will help save a lot of lives. So, thank you so much. Love to hear from you.
Thank you, Prabhudoss, sir.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Prabhudoss, sir. It was a wonderful presentation. I want to add two things. One
Yes,
is,
sir.
I would like to share in the forum when I was working as a professor with the School of Public Health SRM in 2011. First time I heard about 108 operation. I'm talking about 13 years ago. So I took my students to the center. That was the time I personally met Mr. Prabhudoss. I was so surprised to see. For me, I have worked in the international with the international agencies, but first time in Tamil Nadu at Chepak to note the call center, which was responding at the first call. Some nook and corner from Kanyakumari, there was a call, and within 15 minutes, everything was organized. That's one thing I could see at that time. Number two, I had a personal experience when I was traveling from Vellore by train. One of the persons standing next to me, all of a sudden he started having the fit, and then he started getting fainted and then falling down, and he was bleeding from the mouth. I did not know how to manage the situation because all of a sudden bleeding, I could not identify what could be the problem. But only thing I could immediately recall is to call Mr. Prabhudoss. So I called him. Then he asked me, just give me the compartment number and the train number. I just passed him over there. By the time the train reached Arakonam, the station master had advised all the trains to come in the other track. The train was halted at the first platform where they could get the patients outside. Then the stretcher was ready, but the vehicle could not reach because the ambulance was on the other side, and there was a temple festival going on because they had to cross over under a train bridge. But they could not come over here, so the train was halted there. So the stretcher was brought, crossing all the 4 lines and to the first platform. So all the trains were stopped on both sides. The stretcher was brought. Within 40 minutes, he was admitted in the hospital close to Arakonam. And I called the doctor. He said nothing to worry because the bleeding is not from inside. It is because he was biting his tongue. That is why. So in case if you find somebody who is having the fit, immediately you just keep a spoon or a pen or something in the mouth so that they will not bite. So these are the things you learn when you come across the situation. So these things, I was so surprised. Third one I wanted to share, in 2011 itself, I noticed Mr. Prabhudoss, the supporters management, introduced the neonatal ambulance. That's for the newborn baby. In case of any problem breathing or something, and the blue color ambulance sign, and for some kind of a color code they have got to go there. And it was introduced in 2011. I'm talking about 14 now. They've gone long way, and they are, as you rightly said, only Tamil Nadu and Gujarat are showing the models of the entire country, and they have come a long way. So hats off to Mr. Prabhudoss for his wonderful service, and beyond that, he joined in the hospital as an emergency management executive. A lot of things from him. Now we are moving towards school safety and then industrial safety. Shiva is also there. So we are planning to take it in a big way. So many of you are in the industrial level. So any support on emergency management or public-private partnership or anything related to these kind of services, you are free to call us at any time. You can contact Gopi sir. You can take the contact of Prabhudoss, and you are most welcome to network with Mr. Prabhudoss. Thank you, Prabhudoss, for the wonderful presentation, and thanks for accepting our invite in a short period. And we are privileged to have you here. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir. Just to add to Suresh, sir, we had been associated right from, I would say, Thani cyclone. Okay. Because we met in an interview, and our journey continues for probably even before Thani or after that. Yeah.
And TV interview.
Correct. More than a decade now. And okay, we also train people on first responders, and our wish list has a lot of activities. One of them is on training and making the community prepared. It can be corporate, it can be school, anywhere. We should be ready for emergency. 2, we should have the modern first aid kit, okay, where RFID tagging, technology-enabled first aid kit is what we are working on. And now with the Chennai floods around the corner, we have proposed the government on preparedness with a tabletop model on floods and do's and don'ts during a flood. Probably tomorrow we shall know the outcome of our proposal. So these are in pipeline. So as Suresh sir said, whenever you need any extended arm for first aid training or developing an emergency plan for your own community, do let us know. We love to associate and work together. Thank you so much. Thank you, Gopi sir, for the opportunity. And please let me have your feedback, please.
Yeah, sure. We'll keep the floor open for question and answers, sir. No? Participants, you may please unmute and ask your questions, sir.
I have a question, sir. Most of us are small scale industries. We don't have big security or emergency. Do you have a program to come to industries and teach the workers these kind of emergency health? I mean, like Hamlet maneuver,
yes.
or
yes.
Or
it's called
CPR.
Yes, CPR. It's called the First Responder Program, sir.
Okay.
And with the Tamil Nadu government's Ministry of Labor,
okay,
the certificate is also from the Ministry of Labor. Tamil Nadu Apex Center, Tamil Nadu Skill Development Center for Health is available, and under them they have a lot of institutions empanel, and we impart training with the certificate of the government. So 1-day training for the corporate and the industrial workers, okay, encompassing all the emergencies. And this, yeah.
Personnel will come to the factory and teach, or how is it done?
Yes.
Sir? Okay.
Sir, if the numbers are more than say 15 to 20,
okay,
then it can be trained at the site. Okay. Maximum 30, not more than 30
okay,
per batch. It's a 1-day training program.
Okay.
And it will be done at the industry site itself.
Okay.
And it can be customized. For example, glass manufacturing industry, the requirement will be different. Whereas the casting industry, the requirement will be different. So the training program can be customized to the industry, and it will be done at the site, and the certificate is issued by the government.
And how much it will cost, sir, to, I mean,
I think per participant would be 500 to 750, sir.
Okay, and do, I mean, the other things like transport for the people to come to the site.
Yes.
Food.
Yes.
Okay.
That would be on actuals.
Okay.
And not much anyway from within Chennai or within Tamil Nadu. It is not a much.
Okay.
It is even for other districts also. It can be locally arranged, the faculties.
Okay.
And most of the faculties from our side are from emergency medicine. They are not volunteers or not regular trainers. The people who handle emergencies day in and day out.
Okay.
So there is a difference.
Okay. Can you put in the chat? Can you put those numbers so that for us to get in touch?
Yeah, you can collect the number from Gopi sir.
Okay.
Probably will share with you the group, and we can facilitate.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Sir, to add one thing, the latest thing is Shiva. Shiva, you are there? Are there? Shiva? Shiva Kumar? Yeah. Anyway, I'll just, the new concept coming up with the corporate level, international level agencies is because their share market, either in London or Tokyo, they are insisting that they should train the community in and around the facility also. The latest thing is preparing disaster management plan integrated on-site and off-site also. Now, on-site is being done regularly. Now, off-site also, the community living in, because most of them are contract laborers living in and around the facility. So, they are also supposed to be trained on the probable, natural, and the hazard man-made from the industry so that the community also will be prepared. That's a new concept started a decade ago. Now, government is making it mandatory. So those kind of trainings also can be organized for both according to the standards of government. So the internal safety management as well as training the community are be combined, and the combined integrated reports can also be submitted to the district administration for any kind of emergency support from the government. That's a new concept which is going on.
Yes, please. Participants, you may please ask your questions.
Sir, okay, let me suggest, okay, if the group can organize a one-day program in Chennai, okay, for our own members, we can have a training program for the Chennai-based group also. It's a suggestion. Please look at, or maybe a 2-hour program on familiarizing on emergencies. What are the popular emergencies, do's and don'ts, and from there on we can take it to the individual gated communities or to your organization. So that can also be done.
Which you muted? Which you muted?
Yeah, this can even be, we can combine with the IATA also.
Yes.
We have right in the heart of the city, we have the place. We can have a program there. Or even Anna University, I can request. You know, Dr. Thirupugal IAS is actually a faculty now in Anna University in disaster management. Incidentally, he has joined as a professor of practice.
Oh.
Sir, very good morning. This is Shivaram and 98 batch. I have a question. Gopi sir, can I ask a question?
Please.
Yeah. Sir, actually, it was not a question to Mr. Prabhu and Mr. Suresh. It was more to how to associate. We have a, virtual reality, health safety, environmental training kit with us, wherein we have tied up with a company called Ludus from Spain, and we are giving all this training kits and the complete, the SAS module training packages with virtual reality and everything, wherein CPRI is also one of the major module in that. There are totally 20 modules, mostly focused on industrial, health, safety, and environmental, and CPRI is also a part of a module. So just to check with you how to associate with you, and then maybe we can also plan a session to your team, and we can, along with your training, we can also add a part of it, sir.
Yes, sir. Open to associate. Very glad to associate because the virtual reality based simulation training are gaining more popularity. The advantages in a VR based training, you can train and retrain, and objectively you can measure the outcome of every individual, where other trainings it is more subjective, whereas in a VR it is more objective, and immersive learning is also possible. So we can definitely associate, can work together, because in a very small way I was associated with a company in Chennai, IIT Madras, um, on developing a VR for a CPR, the cardiopulmonary resuscitation, as well as fire extinguisher. Because normally when we train somebody with a fire extinguisher, you need a fire extinguisher. Once you use a fire extinguisher, it has to be refilled. Okay. Whereas in a VR, you don't have to refill. You can train in a AC classroom also. You can change the scenario. It can be kitchen, it can be office, it can be airport, it can be anything. So these are the advantages, and there are limitations, of course. You don't get a touch and feel in a VR. That is a limitation, but nevertheless, we can always associate. We can always work together, sir. Please do send in your details. We're allowed to be part of it.
Yeah, sure, sir. In fact, as you rightly said, we have an exclusive kit for the fire extinguishers and the CPRI. Fire extinguishers, we have a 3D model, say dummy extinguisher, wherein we will integrate with the VR so that you get a touch and feel of it. And for similarly CPRI, we have a mannequin and all these things, so that you get a touch and feel of it. But both this are at present we have only the SaaS software, goggles, and the modules, 20 training modules. We are in the process of also attaining this fire extinguisher 3D model and the mannequin for CPRI, so that we can do an extensive training in these two areas. I will collect your number from Gopi sir and meet you in person, sir.
Most loving to meet you, sir. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks a lot.
Since you have
Thank you, Gopi sir.
share the number.
Yeah, thank you, Gopi sir. Thanks a lot.
வணக்கம், வாழ்த்துக்கள் சதானந்தம்ங்க.
வணக்கம் சார்.
Good afternoon, sir. Good noon. I am Sadanandam Karur. Sir, in fact, about 15 to 20 years back, there was a big fire in a multi-story building in Delhi, and all the people could not be evacuated. Some people died, and particularly the Japanese people escaped the thing. I understand like that. What they have done is they have closed all the windows, doors, and all, and they have laid down in the floor and have the kerchiefs flooded with water, and then on the face they could survive that suffocation and all. They have survived like that. So that sort of a training was not there in our curriculum or whatever it is. I would request the other gentleman who was talking about the virtual thing, so that will be more useful to talk to the college students, either in arts college or in engineering, particularly polytechnic, IT. All those people have to be trained first of all. Then you can have a practical training also if possible, or when they are employed, they will have more interest. That way we should do something so that our people are really capable of meeting any situations like this. So that's what I would request you for how to handle it. That's what I wanted you to do it, something like that.
Sir, very true. Yeah, sir. Sir, very true. Very true what you said. We lack the awareness on simple techniques also. Okay. But it is mostly in urban area, whereas in village, in a rural setup, they are more prepared because the availability of resource itself is a challenge. So they know what to do during an emergency. நீங்க பாத்தீங்கன்னா in all our villages they are more prepared. It can be a snake bite, it can be drowning. So they handle it very properly than an urban area. In urban area, we are all mute spectators, not knowing what to do. We panic, whereas they don't panic. They get into the situation and do. So it is more of what I can say, the preparing a community. Our challenge is we are not prepared. Even after 2015, it is going to be 10 years. This year also, it is going to be flooded. This year, the flood forecast is very heavy, but I don't know how many of us, how much community, how much government would be prepared. So time only will answer this. So it's a big challenge, and it will take years for us to get into that, and we need a very strong enforcement. Unless we are enforced, we don't fall in line. That is our behavior. It is not to blame anyone. That is the way we are. So for simple example, sir, I want to sow a seed. All of us have a two-wheeler or a four-wheeler, office, home, everywhere. How many of us have a first aid kit? Please revisit after this meeting. And in our two-wheeler and four-wheeler, after the second service, the first aid kit will disappear actually. How many times have we replenished our first aid kit? How many times have we looked at our first aid kit? If out of 100, one or two has, definitely we appreciate and salute them. But 99 or 98% of us will not have. So we have to start from the first aid kit. And if I ask you a question, what is the first component of a first aid kit? What the most answer would be cotton or Dettol or something. But the first component should be a whistle, because in an emergency, we cannot talk. We will be completely blank. If we want to call someone for help, we need a whistle. So the definition of a first aid kit itself has changed. We have to revisit our basics, and let us join hands to create a revolution. Yes, sir. Any other questions, sir?
Anyone else has a question, you may please unmute and ask. Rajendra?
Sir, Vishnath, sir. Sir, Vishnath, sir. Sorry. Sir, Vishnath, sir, you were talking about Dr. Tirupugal. Hello?
Vichu? He's there, sir. He's there, sir. You can go on.
Yeah. So actually, he's brother of our former Chief Secretary, Sri Dr. Irayanbu. He's a elder brother. And he is from Gujarat cadre, IAS. And he did his disaster management from UNDP when Tsunami Resource Center was formed. He did his internship under Tamil Nadu Tsunami Resource Center. So he pretty well knows about Tamil Nadu situation. And then he was posted in NIDM and NDMA also. Now he's been specially appointed for Tamil Nadu disaster management scenario. So that's a good idea. Prabhudoss, we can think about meeting him one day and then think about how we can take it to the next level of disaster management training programs at the community level. So AABN could be a bridging factor to connect us to Anna University. We can take it further. What do you say, Prabhudoss, sir?
Definitely, sir. It will be a great move. We're looking forward to meeting, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rajendra, you were about to ask something?
Yeah, not a question as such, but a pretty comprehensive and systematic approach I think we learned today towards this very important topic. Just to put forth, like my company actually, we have produced and just launched very recently a personal emergency device that is a walking stick with a sensor and safety features for the elderly. And I think it will be good to actually give a thought towards the integration with such kind of systems. A pretty relevant topic actually today.
Sir, most needed, sir. As I told you, our country is going to have more geriatric population,
Yeah.
and to give you how seriously the government of India is looking at the exclusive geriatric hospital was available only in Delhi, and now in Chennai, Gindi, inside the King Institute campus, government has started the exclusive geriatric hospital center for aging. So that tells you what is the need for the focus on geriatric population. And Chennai also has private hospitals exclusive for geriatric care. Geri care is available. I think now they have 3 branches. Okay. And assisted living is coming up in a big way. So as we age gracefully, okay, we need all these technological assistance. Safe living is going to be our need. So we can work together, sir. I think your innovation will be a great success, and people will derive benefits out of it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Vanakkam, sir. Sadanandam again. So in this regard, Dr. Natarajan is there in Chennai and doing a lot of service to the geriatric elderly people. So what I would request you is, our civil engineers need advice about construction in the bathrooms or the homes, steps without steps, or something like that. Those areas are yet to be developed. Just like that, they are building some houses without any help to the senior people, which we are talking in a local way here. But I think you can take up in a higher level there.
Yes, sir. Dr. VSN is the father of geriatrics from Madras Medical College, and he has a foundation also. And I am also, in a very, very small way, in a micro way, associated with the foundation. A lot of friends over there. And he has been doing extraordinary service for the healthy aging or gracefully aging. And he has a book also, not a book, it's a monthly magazine, and they have a video space also. So a lot of work is being done. And we, as rightly said, construction, safety, all these things also should be focusing on different age groups or vulnerable age groups. So geriatrics is also one of the important areas.
Sir,
yes, sir.
sir, good morning, sir. This is Bapi Raju.
Yes, sir.
Sir, this one is that having a kind of centralized hospital taking care of geriatric care and all. But see, most of the elderly people, they won't be able to go that far. Suppose it must have been there in Gindi, people who are staying somewhere far the place. So for such kind of old people, a kind of nursing at home care and all those things, see, recently, why I'm telling, my parents, my father is 93 and my mother is around 87. And recently my father had been undergoing little kind of, he's been fallen critically ill, and now we have been shutting him between hospital and our house and all. And I see, and I'm finding it, there's not much of talent on the kind of home care nursing staffs. And any kind of right now, some things like a kind of BiPAP provision, or a kind of suctioning, or a kind of, suppose if a pulse rate goes suddenly, what needs to be done for those aged people and all, no, that that kind of knowledge, knowledge is lacking. And they're also a little confused, and then immediately seeking a doctor. Nowadays, the doctors also won't be available at the back of the call, and they advise some medication, and you're at home, and I am here. I will have been knowing the patient. I'll come and see the patient tomorrow, like that. See, that kind of thing has been there in a city like Chennai itself. So this kind of things and all, how it's being addressed. I don't know. It must have been the problem in every city or in must be in every good municipal town also. I think.
Sir, yes, it is a very big challenge. As you said, we are not prepared or trained. So not only in geriatric care, it is also there in palliative care also. When I say palliative care, Tamil they say ஆதரவு மருத்துவம். Okay, and those who are terminally ill or those people where the medication has reached their limit. Okay, so both the geriatrics and palliative care need a specialized care, changing the diapers and changing a urinary catheter, basics or sugar check, BP check, and the challenge in our country is the talented nurses or doctors fly to other countries for green pastures. Okay, so home nurses we get are not trained or equipped. So because most of the nurses wants to work in a clinical environment and not in a home environment. So even the visiting people are not very highly skilled, and there is no exclusive training on geriatric care. Like pediatric care, geriatric care is also an exclusive subject. Taking care of an elderly is not easy because the skin, the sensation, the response, everything is completely different. Not like a normal person. In emergency care now, the Society for Emergency Medicine of India is focusing more on geriatric emergency, because an elderly patient comes to an emergency department or a casualty, needs a special care, not like normal people. So, in fact, one of my wish list was to start a training center on emergency palliative care and geriatric care, but unfortunately, it did not take off owing to COVID lockdowns and other things. So I had to take up the consulting. But one of these days, definitely a training center we shall start, so that every community will have a trained personnel in the neighborhood. You don't have to run around. You don't have to look for something. So in the introduction, they would have said aggregator model of nurses. If we can have Swiggy, if we can have Zomato, if we can have Uber and Ola, why not nurses? If our nurses are, yeah, if our nurses are skilled, certified, equipped, and they are remunerated well, they would not go to Canada or Australia looking for green pastures. But here the challenge is very less paid, and the number of nursing colleges in our country is very high, and not everybody gives an equal amount of training, because nursing or a medicine is a skill-based training. It is not theory. So they lack clinical skills. So we have to certify and recertify. That is why most of them get a American Heart Association training and go to Gulf countries or go to Australia or Canada or some other countries. Whereas here, the skilled people are still challenged. So we can definitely revisit the system, re-engineer the system, and do something. At least we will also come to that age one day.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you. I think it's a kind of real issue that needs to be addressed, because maybe our generation who must be taking care of our parents and all. I think earlier, I'm sure for next generation, in fact, first of all, they're not available with us. And almost most of the children are all in abroad also. And
Yes,
when we become
yes.
old, definitely we also undergo all these kind of problems.
Yes, yes.
Then
yes.
where to look for
Yes.
kind of emergency help and all. I'm really getting surprised.
Yes.
In fact,
Sir,
I'm after seeing my father, I'm getting little sleepless nights and all. What will happen
Sir,
to our future in another 20 years to go or 10 years to go?
Absolutely, absolutely. You have hit the right note, sir. Today,
Yes.
Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, Kerala, maybe Andhra Pradesh, most of these southern states, especially, okay, where the education levels are high, most of the children are living outside. Okay, large houses with 5 bedrooms, only 2 people. Okay, husband and wife, and they do not know what to do because they want to talk but nobody to listen, and they want a tasty food but nobody to cook, and they are left home alone. We saw Home Alone with a child inside a home. Today we see Home Alone with the elderly inside the home.
Yes, sir.
Yes, there are assisted living and all these things. Cosmetically engineered facilities are available at a cost. Can everybody afford assisted living? Definitely no. At aging, economics is a big question mark. All these things are commercial, and you cannot buy a love in Amazon or a paid service. Say so. Some development is required on geriatric with a very serious focus, and only a community approach can bring this change. Why I tell this? In Kerala, the dialysis is a community driven activity, road safety is a community driven activity, palliative care is a community driven activity, whereas in Tamil Nadu, we are yet to reach that level. And somewhere we can meet and take an initiative or influence the government to drive in that fashions. Maybe a good PPP can work wonders in this, training nurses in every community, equipping them, certifying them, and as an aggregator. It's possible, but it is a need.
Thank you, sir. I think you have shared a lot of information. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
Sir, can I come, sir?
Please, sir. Please, sir.
Sir, I am Anil Goswami. I am from Haryana. Haryana, of course, is far behind Tamil Nadu and Andhra, but same status is there. In most of the houses, there are two people living. So now I heard in China, this medical facilities for preventing the medicine, for preventing the diseases. It is not for curing. Doctors are mostly paid for preventing the disease. I don't know how far it is true, but this is what I was told. So this disaster management, it is ongoing activity. Can we focus, on regular training and for preventive action so that the people are aware? So from time to time, it is on paper, it is there. I am looking on paper, it is there. When something happens all of a sudden, we are all in a coma state or something like this. It is happen actually. So on papers every day we see on TVs and other things. I am also a general secretary of my association also. There are 700 families. But if something happens, we are all puzzled suddenly. So this awareness is needed continuously from place to place. Thank you so much. So Prabhudoss, excellent talk, Surejji. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for your nice. Thank you, Gopi.
Sir,
thank
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you.
Sir, Goswami sir, thank you so much. You
Yes.
said two things. One is the community to be prepared. As
Yes.
India, we are excellent in firefighting, sir. When a
Yes.
situation comes, all of us get into the firefighting mode, and we are excellent. We are a resilient community. But then
Yes.
in the preparedness and planning, we need more focus. And
So you're right.
secondly, in the prevention, sir, in the elderly, the dentures, teeth replacement. It is very expensive in our country. It is not covered under insurance also. So maybe we have to look at a policy change. The dentures should be covered under the insurance so that if we are able to eat very well, if we are able to chew very well, most of our illness will be prevented. So the basic prevention starts with a food. Okay, but what happens in an elderly is no teeth. How will you chew? How will you eat good food? And how will you survive? So dentures cost not less than 40,000 rupees in our country for a good quality dentures. I am talking about minimum 25 to
Yes.
40K. So there should be some mechanism for all these things. And hearing aids, if we are able to provide hearing aids, most people can survive. Of course, spectacles are covered by a lot of NGOs and free distribution happens. But hearing aid and dentures are a major concerning area in our country, sir. Thank you so much, Goswami sir, for highlighting the issue.
Thank you very much. God bless you.
Thank you, sir. Sir, Sashi sir wanted to talk something.
Yeah, please. Yeah, Sashi, please go on, Sashi.
The lion is yet to roar. Actually.
Sashi, please unmute and talk, Sashi.
Yeah. Good morning, everyone. I just entered late. I missed most of that. I'm sorry. I was a little late on the topic also. Anyway, I just came back from Dubai, and there the strategies or anything is entirely different from what we have it in India. Either way, and I'm out of topic. Either way, I'm not from the pharma industry anymore. Having seen the economy or the other things, money makes money there. I'm really out of this topic. Yeah, I'm just a listener. Thank you.
Sir, okay. Having said Dubai, it has the world's fastest ambulances in Dubai, and they have airlifting option also from the site of incident.
Airlifting is very huge.
Yes, and as he said, money makes money, and above everything, in Gulf
medicine
countries,
is 6 times. Medicine is 6 times to 8 times costlier, ruled by Aster. And whatever rate they tell is the rate. Probably insulin costs you 400 to 600 here. It straight away jumps to 6,000 there.
Correct. So
even the required medicines.
Correct.
Because it's all under insurance.
Yes, sir. But one thing we should be proud as India. We have had a lot of visitors from, as I told you, Australia, Canada, Toronto, many places, 911, and there are emergencies. We are far better. We are our response times are much competitive. When I say Australia is 8 minutes or Singapore is 8 minutes, we are Chennai city 6 minutes. Okay, so we are good, but given the population, lack of enforcement, we have our own challenges. Probably we are here to bring that change.
Sir, not at all required. India is much comfortable as far as the reach of the doctors are concerned, or even the medicines are concerned. It is a boon. When you see the outside world, even if rather Europe, my son stays there in Netherlands. Probably, even just for your implant or a tooth, he travels to Turkey. He travels Turkey and comes back. There is nothing called as reachability of a doctor also there.
Absolutely.
Simple program of a tooth pain, he has to travel country to country.
Very true.
In India, we are bound.
Very true.
Sir,
tourism can be entertained much comfortably here.
Sir,
yes,
that's a ease.
Sir, I want to add on. Our Indian doctors are far better than even any country in the world, and our facilities are much better.
Absolutely.
I had recently, my wife
more than facilities, sir. They are reachable.
My wife
reachable. Very easily reachable.
My wife recently met with accident near New York, in New Jersey. So the stitches were made almost on the forehead. 15 stitches were made, and when we came back and we shown to the doctor here, he say even the nurse, the compounder, he will make the better stitches. He will do the better stitches. They are done by a very raw doctor or something in US. So that is true. Their hospitals are glittering. They are very good, very neat and clean. But their experience is far less than our doctors. Their competency level is far less than our doctors. Thank you.
Sir, the difference, the reason being, we have 18 categories to 20 categories of vehicle moving in one single road in Chennai city. Whereas in Western countries or the other countries, the challenge will not be there. In our emergency departments, the kind of emergencies we see, nobody
sir.
in the world sees so many categories of emergencies. They are surprised with the kind of emergencies we see. So as I told you earlier, it is a skill. So more you practice, more you are skilled, the outcome
Yes,
is
sir.
better. So
Yes.
our doctors, our paramedics, our nurses are more skilled because by virtue of being in a hospital, they get more cases every day, more
Yeah,
footfall every day.
that's right.
Whereas the number of accidents we see here is more. Obviously,
Yes.
our people are also more skilled.
You're right. No doubt.
Anyone else has a question? Any questions to the participants? I think we're done, Mr. Prabhudoss.
Sir, 1 minute, sir.
Yes, sir, please.
Sadanandam again. Sir, we had some greater experience in 1990s, There was one Bhopal, I think. There was a biggest disaster. So like that, it should not happen in future. For that, in Chennai or in Nagapattinam or Tuticorin or in other places on the seashores, we should make some preparations so that we can survive. So that sort of a thing will not happen. Like that, we should project to the government or to the people. It's like that, something has to be done on those angle also. Thank you, sir.
Anyone
Thank
else with a question? One last question.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Prabhudoss.
Thank you, sir. It was a great meeting you all, and thank you so much. I'm looking forward to seeing you soon, sir.